32 stories, 1,000 flats will be turning into dust in 9 seconds on 28 August. What you're going to see in Noida, which is the Delhi NCR region, is going to be India's biggest demolition, a controlled explosion on court orders. But is it the first or the only demolition that India has witnessed? In 2019, 4 high-rise buildings in Kerala were demolished as they were also in violation of coastal regulation zone rules. 3 years later, this is going to be the fate of Noida Supertech twin towers that have been deemed illegal by the top court. They will be demolished soon, but what is an example or a study that the demolition experts are going to take from? And that will come from the Maradu Towers in Kochi in Kerala. Take a look at this report. In 2019, 4 high-rise buildings in Ernakulam, Kerala were demolished as they were in violation of the coastal regulation zone rules. Four apartment complexes in Maradu were razed down 2 years ago on 12th of January. H2O Holy Faith, Alpha Serene, Jain's Coral Cove and Golden Kavaloram were demolished by an implosion in just about 12 seconds, over 2,500 kilometers away, and 3 years later, the same fate awaits Noida Supertech twin towers. While a similar implosion technique will be used for Noida too, here's how this demolition will be the biggest ever in India. There were 4 apartment complexes in Kochi. In Noida, there are 2 towers. There were maximum 16 floors in the luxury high-rises in Kerala. In Noida, the 2 towers have 32 and 30 floors. In Kochi, about 122 flats were demolished. That number could go up to 1,000 for Noida. The Maradu flats were over 65 meters high. The Supertech towers stand at over 100 meters. And while 1,800 kilograms of explosives were used to bring down the Maradu complexes, it will take 3,500 kilograms of explosives to demolish the Noida towers. In Kochi, the buildings were reduced to dust in 12 seconds. The Supertech towers will be gone in just 9 seconds. This was probably the first time that India witnessed a demolition of a residential high-rise buildings. But around the world, controlled explosions have been used to demolish buildings. One of the most famous Seattle building ever, the Kingdom, was brought down in March 2000. Built in 1976, it was the largest building ever demolished by an implosion at the time, with a volume of nearly 700,000 cubic feet. At 381 feet tall, the 1972 built AFE tower became the tallest building to ever be demolished using explosives when it came down in Frankfurt, Germany in 2014. The 50,000-ton skyscraper in the heart of the city attracted over 10,000 onlookers on the explosion day. And a wall up to 20 feet high ran around the site to help stop any potential flying debris. 2 miles worth of concrete blew up in unison in 2013. Built in 1997, the viaduct in the Chinese city of Wuhan needed a precision blast to end its 15-year life. Wires carrying 100,000 volts ran alongside the bridge and a gas pipeline underneath it to trigger the explosives in a sequence. Come August 28, India's national capital region will witness something as explosive and dramatic. Bureau Report, India Today. 3,500 kilograms of explosives have now been drilled into 9,000 holes on this twin towers of Supertech in Noida. And in 9 seconds, it will all that take for the towers to come crashing down on the orders of the court. How are they going to plan this? Now, there is, importantly, remember, demolition experts and team of engineers who are involved. There is edifice engineering who were involved in the demolition in Kerala, and therefore they also have the experience and will have to carry out this successful operation. Our colleagues are on the ground to get you the latest situation, and Nabila Jamal spoke to the edifice engineering owner and also to the residents in the vicinity. Take a look closely. This residential locality will have to be evacuated over the weekend once this explosion takes place. She spoke to the residents, she spoke to the demolition experts as well to get you this latest. Over to you, Nabila.
At this point, your engineer has spoken to us. How have you really inserted those explosives? It's fully charged, very sensitive zone.
Yeah, it's very, very sensitive, as rightly said. And that's where we've kept this barricades. We're not allowing people to go in.
Yeah.
We have a team of police who are securing the property completely. They're giving rounds up and down. There's no lift now, so whatever even we are walking all the way 32 floors, we're coming down every day. So
we really want to know, where have you sourced these explosives from, Utkarsh?
we especially got this manufactured here in Nagpur. Solar explosive, there are a couple of companies who are best in this. We boiled down to Solar as an explosive manufacturer. So our requirement was given to them almost 3 months prior. They took almost a month. They especially manufactured it for us because these are very little explosives. Though as a team of press and media, they feel 3,700 kgs.
Yeah, that's a lot.
No, that's not a lot. The quantum is only because there are number of layers in the structure, so it is going this high.
Lot of apprehensions, Mayur, about whether residents are safe, people are pulling down their paintings, bubble wrapping their furniture. Is there anything for us to panic?
So nothing is there to be panicked. So the building is now the 100% charged and 100% ready for implosion. And if people are doing the bubble wrap and pulling down their paintings, it's not at all required. So 100% we are assured that nothing is going to go. As estimated, some of the glasses will be break. That has already been messaged.
Some glasses will break?
Yeah, definitely it will break.
Okay.
Definitely it will break.
Okay.
So we have a backup contractor for that. Once the implosion will be carried out on 28th of August 2:30.
Right.
Immediately our contractor, our backup guys will check everything.
Right.
And the contractor will be deployed to rectify immediately. And
So
this
is
message...
something this is something I want to catch you on. When you say glasses will break, will edifice compensate for that?
100%.
Oh wow, okay.
100%.
Okay.
Any collateral damage, not only the glasses,
Okay.
any collateral damages happen, we have covered the insurance of 100 crores and edifice is liable and responsible to do each and every rectification.
The most apprehensive are the residents. All the neighboring buildings here, locals are quite worried what the repercussions of this demolition drive would really be. I have with me Indrajit, who's a resident, someone who's seen this building come up from scratch to where and then back down to, ground zero. Let's hope it all happens well, but are you sure that this is all in control?
Yeah, I hope so.
I want to know, what exactly have you done in preparation of this whole...
So we've as our responsibility towards our safety and stuff, so we've covered the balconies with cardboard boxes, bubble wrap, we've taped all the panels, glass panels, so that there is no entering of dust or any kind of residue that will be post the explosion. So that is what we've done.
What have you done for your house?
Oh, since our apartment little bit 100 meters, 100 meters away, so we are not much concerned in terms of. But yes, the concerning fact is about the dust and the pollution.
So for 2 consecutive days, Nabila Jamal has been speaking to not only the residents who are in the vicinity who will have to be evacuated, but also today is getting you the official reaction about the demolition experts and their precise plan for this 9-second controlled explosion. While Nabila Jamal is on the ground, my colleague Aishwarya Paliwal gets you the aerial view on top. What does the situation look like with regard to the Supertech twin towers that are over 100 meters high, but also for the vicinity that's going to watch it come down in barely 9 seconds? This report filed by Aishwarya Paliwal.
August 28th will see the demolition of these twin towers, which are taller than the iconic Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar stands at 73 meters. These twin towers are 100 meters tall. Now there is a building which has 29 stories and the other building, a part of the twin tower, has 32 stories. This structure that you see right behind me will be demolished using 3,700 kgs of explosives and 55,000 ton of debris will be managed once the towers come down. 2:30 is the time when these illegal structures will be brought down on orders of the Supreme Court. The entire exercise will last 10 seconds. The building where I'm standing is Emerald Court, and there are 2,000 residents who stay currently in this premise. All the people and the people who stay in the adjoining building will evacuate their homes. Roughly 2,000 people have been asked to make alternative arrangements. Majority of them are moving to their relatives' house. This entire building, this entire premise will become a ghost town by 7 a.m. on 28th of August. Work is still going on to make sure that the buildings remain safe. Most of the people have started covering their ACs, their gardens, their window shields. They will be back by around 4 p.m. on 28th August, given that the demolition goes as per plan. The Supreme Court says that the bringing down this structure is the need of the hour, so that it becomes a symbol for other developers, so that they do not indulge in these kind of activities. With camera person Premchand Mishra, this is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting for India Today.
The countdown for Supertech Twin Tower demolition drive has just begun. This massive 40-story building is going to be coming down in barely 9 seconds. The engineers, as well as the company that's carrying out the demolition drive, have cautioned that the impact could lead to some buildings having shattered glasses. That's the caution that they've already sent out. So residents very well prepared with the pressure with which this building is going to be falling down. Just like water, it will be melting away to the ground, will lead to some kind of impact on the residences aligned with the Supertech Twin Towers. Some of those glasses might shatter, but not to worry. Edifice, the company says, full compensation will be provided. At this point, these twin towers stand right in the middle of Sector 93A of Noida, very close to several residents, in fact, several local buildings that are aligned with the Twin Towers, Supertech Twin Towers, are very, very close, barely 9 meters, which is what the Supreme Court has deemed as illegal. It's now going to be brought down in no time. And of course, residents in the locality already prepared. There are community centers that have been set up at a few buildings beside here, only to house many of those immediate locals so that they are safe on the D-Day. India Today on top of this story. We're going to continue tracking every detail right here from the spot. With camera person Sanjay and Mridul, Nabila Jamal for India Today.
Now, sure, it's going to be a spectacle, India's biggest demolition, but also let's remember where it started from. The corruption started from 2004. The paperwork that started to be revised, additional floors that were added. Remember, the vicinity that you have is of barely half the number of floors that the Supertech had of 30 to 32. How did this building come up in the first place? Who is accountable? What action has been taken against them? Remember, this is also about homeowners who have been deceived. Take a look now about whether it's modern engineering, advanced technology and the rule of science that will be used to demolish the illegal high-rise construction. Here's a report to help you understand about specifically the construction of this building that came up in the first place without due approvals.
India will be witnessing its biggest ever demolition. The Twin Towers in Noida are all set to be turned into nothing but debris by the authorities. But what led to the fall of these massive buildings? Let's take you through each brick that led to the fascinating demolition of the Apex and Sian Towers. The story began almost 2 decades ago when the New Okhla Industrial Development Authority, that's Noida, allotted a plot of land to Supertech. This was in Noida's Sector 93A for the purpose of construction of a housing society named Emerald Court. Then the very next year, the building plan was sanctioned, allowing builders to construct a total of 14 towers with 10 floors each within the height of 37 meters. Then, in December 2006, modifications were made and the new plan had 2 additional floors in each tower. And now, instead of 14, the plan had 16 towers as well as a shopping complex as per the Noida building bylaws of 1996. In 2009, 14 towers of the 16 were constructed when the approval was still pending for the new plan. The final plan now was of constructing 2 towers, the Apex and Sian, with 40 floors each in the place of a garden and a shopping complex. 2010, 13 floors of the Twin Towers were already built. Now, upon the construction without the approved plan, the Resident Welfare Association became suspicious and in 2011 filed a petition in the Allahabad High Court. Next came the approval only 2 months before the trial began in Allahabad Court in the year 2012. Then, 2 years later, in March 2014, the Allahabad High Court gave its verdict in favour of the Resident Welfare Association, the RWA, and ordered the demolition of the Twin Towers, Apex and Sian. The court in its order also said that the buyers will get a refund with the interest at the rate of 14%. 2 months later, in May, the Noida Authority and Supertech moved the Supreme Court, claiming that the construction was in accordance to the rules. And the bad luck of Supertech followed them to the Apex Court too. And in August 2021, the Supreme Court ordered the demolition of the Twin Towers within 3 months. Now, the act of demolition then got delayed. And after Noida Authority's green flag on demolition preparations, the Supreme Court on 17th May this year extended the deadline, which is now 28th of August.
Take a look closely on the red dots here on the building. This is where the explosives have been laden. The skeleton is ready. It's going to come crashing down in just 9 seconds on 28th of August. And of course, the vicinity, while will have to be evacuated, of about 5,000 residents. But once it was made, the cost, we are being told, of this building of Twin Towers was a whopping 1,200 crore rupees. Take a look now about the money that was involved on this twin tower that was built and have now been ordered by the court to be demolished.
Nine seconds. That's all that will take for Noida's Supertech Twin Towers to be reduced to dust. For those who put their life savings in these homes, the demolition will be truly shattering.
The much talked about Supertech Twin Towers of the ATS is right behind me here with explosives 3,500 kgs that have been layered, and every floor will be detonated simultaneously on the 28th of August. It's going to be quite a sight for residents across to watch, and also a point of worry. Of course, the sound, the pollution, the dust that this would result in is something that residents are concerned. So many of them actually taking off for a weekend, not willing to stay in the vicinity until this drive is done. So most of those buildings that you see, ATS as well as Emerald Towers, there all have packed their buildings with white sheets so that they prevent dust from coming into those windows in the houses right neighboring to that ATS building. But it's very interesting to see how this demolition will be carried out, because it's been years that residents locally have been fighting for this to go down. And once this goes down, all that debris will be moved out to a designated location. Cars in the vicinity will be allowed to park at a special multi-facility parking allotted by the Noida authorities. So it seems like this entire demolition drive is fully under control by that company Edifice as well as Noida authorities.
The explosion will also come at an explosive cost. At current market price, a 3 BHK apartment in the Twin Towers would cost 1.13 crore rupees at least. With 915 flats, the towers would have made more than rupees 1,190 crore rupees if all had gone well. The cost of construction is estimated to be 70 crore rupees. The demolition will cost 20 crores. Now, the bankrupt company is finding it hard to even pay for the demolition. Supertech is paying around 4.5 to 5.5 crore rupees for the demolition. The rest of the amount, around 14.5 to 15.5 crore rupees, is expected to be made by selling off the debris. Edifice Engineering, the demolition company, has 100 crore rupees insurance for collateral damage due to the blast. The company will cover costs for damages, if any, to societies next to the Twin Towers. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the biggest fear of the neighborhood residents of the Emerald Court and the ATS Greens village, which comprises of about 5,000 residents and will be evacuated, their biggest concern is damage to property and of course any sort of fear of collateral damage. And while that evacuation is going to be done by early morning on the 28th of August, how does it look like in the vicinity? They are rejoicing that the court orders have favored their campaign, but they're also concerned about the property damage that could be inflicted with the debris that falls from this. We're talking about two big residential complexes in Noida region. Take a look now at this ground report sent by my colleague Ashutosh Mishra. We are getting you all voices from different angles, this one from the neighborhood residents. Take a look.
Indrajit Kaur and Nandini are neighbours living in Emerald Court. Their homes face the twin towers of Sian and Apex, scheduled for Sunday demolition. They and others living in the tower are busy preparing for Sunday.
तो बबल शीट से इसे मोस्टली चीजें जो भी कांच की हैं उन्हें बबल में रैप करके जो दीवारों पे लगा हुआ है which is not done with fastener thing.
Television, fridge, electric appliances हैं.
Fridge वगैरह के ऊपर I'll put the bed sheet.
It's a big thing that's happening, and towers right next to our society.
That's very possibly sense of massive vibration, aftermath, aftershocks.
Right. But definitely it's a good news that, you know, it will get demolished and, you know, we'll have this nice space because the construction is all illegal, so you never know.
And that's what you fought for.
Right.
These curtains have been imposed, and this is to prevent dust particles and the massive debris from falling inside the residential premises. Now if I just could take out this portion to show you, in that black sheet there you see that is the twin tower building which will be demolished. At several pillars the explosives have been fit upon, and now all the portions at different places, calculating its physics, have been covered totally, and this is to prevent the shocks, this is prevent the shooting of the material when the blast takes place. And also there you see the trenches have been dug out all around this building where there's a loose mud, huge amount of loose debris already is put out, and this is to prevent the vibration when blasts take place.
They will all have to leave their houses on 28th August. There is apprehension and last-minute preparations to be made. The RWA of the society has given proper instructions for the residents to prevent any untoward incident or accident. Rajesh Rana was one of the residents who fought the long legal battle with the builder and the Noida authority. Now he and his family are busy protecting their home from the demolition of the illegal construction.
कुछ लोग तो ये पारसना, सिल्वर सिटी आसपास की जो सोसाइटीज हैं वो भी बहुत हेल्पफुल है और वो लोग कह रहे हैं कि अगर आप आना चाहें तो हमारे यहाँ सुबह 7 बजे से रात तक रुकिए और जब सेटल हो जाए डस्ट तो आप अपने घर चले।
दूसरे RWS ने आपको मदद
कर रहे हैं, लंच, डिनर, ब्रेकफास्ट सारा अरेंज किया उन्होंने, बहुत अच्छा अरेंजमेंट कर रहे हैं।
Ajay Mehra plans to leave a day before the demolition on Saturday. Like all other residents, he is satisfied with the promises of compensation in case there is any damage to his home. The company response to carry out the demolition has been able to assure these residents.
टूटना तो है ही है, इसमें हम जितना अपनी तरफ से हम बचा सकते हैं हम जरूर बचाएंगे और जितनी वॉल हैंगिंग्स हैं सब उतार के जाएंगे। क्रॉकरी अलमीरा हम खाली करके जा रहे हैं, वो सब
घर में टीवी है, फ्रिज है, जो बड़े इलेक्ट्रिक अप्लायंसेस
उतार के जाएंगे, सबको अनप्लग करके जाएंगे, मेन ऑफ करके जाएंगे सारा।
On the day of D-Day, when they leave, the electricity connection will be totally put to halt, put to totally switch off. This is really gonna be challenging. The edifice company has issued 100 crore rupees of insurance for the houses of these residents. However, there will be perhaps certain apprehensions, though the safety and security issue have been addressed, but somewhere in the mind the apprehensions will be alive until they come back and see their dream home safe post-demolition.
For the next few days, residents of this society and others nearby are busy preparing for the demolition of the Twin Tower. Once the debris is removed and the dust of demolition settles down, they hope to have sunnier days. With Ashutosh Mishra, Bureau Report, India Today.